Alright guys, yo, what's up? Welcome back to the solar system series known as Up in the Air, where we talk about the air signs up in the air. And I know you can't really see it like that right now, but as you can tell, this is a tree of some sorts. So yeah, there's some elevation going on to it. But yeah, anyways, what we're on now is Mars and Gemini. You know, Mars and Gemini, Mars and Gemini, Mars and Gemini. So let's start off where we are. Start off with the planet Mars. What is the planet Mars? Mars is the planet of your passions, willpowers, aggressions, motivations, and anything that really, basically any feeling that really gets you kind of like, just motivated to actually do something. You feel what I'm saying? And basically, when this is in Gemini, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's like a great sign. It's not a bad sign to do things in. You'll definitely have the energy, volition, and speed to get things moving, but focus is a little lacking, if you know what I'm saying, because your actions are up in the air. And that's not a great thing when you need focus. If you need like little tasks to go from here to here to here to here to here to here, and it's fun, then you'll be doing shit real quick. You'll be getting it done. You'll be doing things. You'll be coming at things from like 10 different perspectives at once if you're psyched on it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, before we get into like all that and start breaking all that down, let's talk about like Gemini itself, you know what I'm saying? So Gemini is mutable air, which means it's being adaptable and changeable to different ways of thinking and communication. So with that being placed in the sign of your actions, being adaptable, like I said, it's great and all, but this is what really makes your feelings up in the air. So it's just kind of like, oh shit, how are you gonna get anything done? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the literal sign that pushes you to like if you can imagine like a dog in a movie, this is that squirrel when it comes to your action signs. You're doing one thing, you're doing one thing, you're doing one thing, you're doing one thing, and then next thing you know, your feelings totally change and you're just like, I want to do this. And if it's like something, and this will be like based off of your desire to do something, like when your feelings are up in the air, it's basically any thought that catches your eye. So you could be walking around climbing a tree and like without even thinking about it, you'll just be like, ooh, I want to jump to that other tree, and then you'll run over, see which is the closest branch, and it might not even be the closest branch because you're just like, well, this is a cool idea, I want to do this right now, let's see what happens. And then next thing you know, you're gonna end up in some type of learning experience. Well, you'll be like, oh shit, and then all your other signs are gonna have to deal with something that you done did. You know what I'm saying? But like this to sort of flip the size a little bit before we get into a story about how all this happens. Let's think about it as like let's approach approach this from the perspective of if you are actually focused on a subject. You know what I'm saying? Because this air has to still get around somewhere. It's not Aquarius where you're fixated on a certain thing. You're just like, oh okay, I can kind of focus, but it's still quick like an air sign and just bounce around and does what it does. The same things that like all of the Mars and air signs sort of do is they have this ability to just like, it's like if you have a reason to like talk to someone and engage with a certain actions in someone because you see value and you just want to help someone. Like say if you're like if you like you just want to help people and you feel conversational that day and you just want to hear about their problems, you will talk to this certain person about their problems and like just act like you like actually care because you want to get like the full story out of this someone because you're genuinely interested in like what they have to say, and you're gonna act on it, and it's gonna play out as you just being like super hype and talking about like just whatever gets them going, but then since your feelings are kind of in an air sign, they don't really get across that you're not interested in them as much as you are interested in like the story itself. And the way it like differs is like an Aquarius may have a purpose and they may understand how to charge certain emotions and not necessarily feel it themselves and just be like, oh okay, I want this out of a person. And I mean it kind of sounds a little sociopathic to an extent, but it's like it's just the signs, so it's like a little different. It's just their influence. They're not necessarily doing it out of like I'm gonna get something out of this person. It's just like, this is what I want to do. So like where it would work with like a Mars and Aquarius is like they may have, like I said, like a reason to be liked, a reason to get something out of, which I guess kind of would go against what I just said, but such is life. And then like the difference like it would happen with Libra is a Libra just wants to act on having relationships and act on being cool with this person. So they may care about maintaining that relationship with that person, but it's not necessarily for the reason that like you know, they would like, where it's just like a genuine care for that person. It's like purely based on the thought of, I want to be in a relationship with this person. This person's cool. I like this person. Okay, cool. And the Gemini can, like, you know, it can do either or, you know, it can do some, but it's morally just based on the fact that they just want to conversate, you know, and based off their other alignments, they may be in a situation where it's like, where it's whatchamacallit, where they like, you know, they may be kind of in you know, closed off, like reclusive Gemini, where they're not as talkative, like externally as they are internally, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't never think a Gemini in any signs is quiet, you know, it's either they're talking to you or their mind's going crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is that, like, 10,000 thought an hour type of person, you know, and like, they may really have good ideas all the time, but you never hear about it because they don't expand upon them, and they don't like just focus on anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just like, oh, that's cool, oh, that's cool, oh, that's cool, and it's all like the start process of like a thought rather than like the completion or the relation of a thought, you know what I'm saying? And like, this sort of comes from the that's why I didn't even talk about Gemini itself. Gemini is mutable air, being adaptable and changeable to different ways of thinking and communication. It's ruled by Mercury, and it falls in Jupiter, but it is born from the third house, which is the first house in the sequence of air houses. And this house is like, you know, it's the basic details house. So this is where they get that like starting energy from. They're like, ooh, and then they're just like entertaining ideas, you know what I'm saying? And this is like how it plays out through like your Mars, but I went off on a whole tangent. Anyways, let's get back to like what happens if this person does actually focus on something, you know? So like if this person actually does focus on a project, say like a Lego set or something, or whatever type of building project you got going on, you know, maybe they're building a birdhouse or some, I don't know, some type of like small detail oriented, like simple shit that they can do for a small period of time, because, you know, their mind's going to wander around somewhere eventually, and their actions will obviously follow based off this sign. So what this person does when they are actually focusing on something is, it's like they like I said, they still have to get that air out, so they'll approach it from a bunch of different angles. You know, maybe they'll work on the door set in like in the Lego set or birth house, and then like, you know, like or they'll work on like the walls or the roof, and they'll bounce between these multiple different aspects of the project, culminating to one focused thing, you know. And that's just how they do it, you know. They have to like I said, their minds bouncing around all type of ways in like all the time, and like I said, this is placed in their actions, so this is what they're going to do. But yeah, anyways, I mean, that's just how they do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, they bounce around. Maybe it'll be focused, maybe it won't. These people they're very good if you need like small group projects or like a managerial tasks, where they're like kind of like a jack of all trades, because they want to act on a bunch of things, and that's just how their schedule works best. If you just place them in a bunch of different things to keep them focused in their way, if you can call it that, but to them it is. Anyways, let's run down all the signs in the planets, okay? So, Mars and Gemini. Mars is the planet of actions, willpower, motivation, any emotion that actually gets you to carry out an action based off of your sun sign. You know what I'm saying? Because your sun's consciously experience what you want, and then your actions are what actually makes you do it. You know what I'm saying? Did I say consciously experience you want? I meant would say consciously see from the world. Dang it, man. You know, you can only focus so much when you're talking about a Mars and Gemini, man. My actions are bouncing all over the place. I have this sign, so this is a physical. If you need a representation, look at me. I went from here, I went from there, I'm going everywhere. Now I'm back to what I said I was going to talk about, so I'm going to talk about it. Anyways, yo, that look cool. Hey. I blend in. It's not a green screen, it's actually dark outside. But yeah, anyways, so Gemini like I said, it's ruled by Mercury, falls in Jupiter, born from the third house, and then when it's in Mars, your actions are up in the air. You just be going with the flow, man. Wherever the wind takes you, that's what you're doing. Anyways, peace.